beautiful. Welcome to this chat, talk, training, however you want to call it, about how to live a life you will remember. How to live a life we're truly in love with, and how to really create a life that we're excited about, a life that we enjoy living, a life that we just like get more out of the life that we live in, a life that we're truly, truly enjoying and truly being in love with. So to give you a little backstory, if you think like, okay, so who are you to tell me that? I'm a traveler. I've been traveling the last probably 7 years, but actually all my life. And I love adventures. I love traveling. I love all the things. Pretty much have the adventure in my blood. And how that came is my parents grew up in Eastern Germany, where they pretty much weren't allowed to travel. And then my mom used to work in the oncology department, where obviously you're dealing with people having cancer. And she came home all the time, like seeing all these people being terribly sick, right? If you have cancer, it's not really a nice thing to have. It's like, and everyone was like, oh my God, I still have so many dreams. I still want to live life. I wish I would have done this, and I wish I'd traveled more, and I wish I'd actually lived my life more. So what I learned from my parents from a very, very young age was, whenever you have a dream, whenever you want to do something, go do it. Go do it. Go do it now. Go do it as soon and as fast and as really soon as possible. Because we never know how much time we'll have. We never know what will happen tomorrow. And the worst thing that we can do is really wait another 5, 20, 50 years to go live our lives, to go enjoy our lives, and to really do what we feel called to do, what we want to do, fulfill our dreams. And I know so many people that wait for their retirement, or till the kids are out of the house, or till they have more money, till they feel they have more time, till they have a better position to actually go live their life, go travel, go enjoy their life more, do more, be more, and explore more. And where I want to start here is, my parents took me to Nepal when I was 5 years old. I went to India when I was by myself, when I was 14 years old. And I pretty much traveled a lot during pretty much all my life. And I finished high school, and on my Spanish oral exam, I had this funny teacher asking me this question. So imagine you're at your funeral, and everyone is gathered, everyone is around there. What would you want people say about you? And in that moment, I was in an oral exam. I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, what kind of question is that even? Like, I'm just finishing high school. I just want to go out and like explore the world and have fun and enjoy my life. Why are you asking me about my death? And I didn't get it. So I went traveling, went around the world, having fun in different countries, going, exploring, traveling, doing all the things. And one day it hit me. I was like, oh, what they actually meant was, how do you want to be remembered? How do you want to live your life so that at the end of your life, people say a certain thing about you? And it took about a year till I really understood what that meant. And I was like, okay, so what does that mean about me now? What should I do with my life now? And I started thinking, how do I want to remember my life? Like, at the last day of my life, how do I want to look back and say, what do I want to say about my life? Do I want to look back and say like, oh yeah, lived a super busy life, and have people talking about like, oh yeah, she was a nice person, but she was always busy. She was always working. I don't want my mom saying like, oh, she was a good daughter, but she's never been around because she's always been busy. She's always been like in her thoughts, doing some other stuff, trying to like figure stuff out. If I ever want to have kids, I don't want them to say like, oh yeah, my mom was cool, but she was always busy with her phone. She was always working. She was never around. She never had time for us. We never actually got to spend a lot of time with her. I don't want to have friends that say like, oh yeah, she was a cool person, but we didn't actually spend a lot of really cool time with her. Like, there's not much memories that we have apart from the few times that we went drinking or partying or stuff. Like, what's the kind of life that I want to live? That's a question that I want to ask you. What's the kind of life that you want to live? And at that point of life, I didn't know the answer. I didn't know what I wanted. It's like, well, I'm not sure what I want. And the problem is, when we don't know what we want, it's really hard to get to a point where we're very happy, where we're very satisfied, where we're actually truly enjoying the life that we're living. It's like you go into an airport and you don't have a plane ticket yet, and you're like, where do you want to go? Like, I don't know. Just like send me somewhere. So he's sending you somewhere and you end up in, I don't know, Sicily. And you get there and you're like, well, that's not where I wanted to go. Like, what should I do here? Like, I wanted something more fun, something more adventurous, something, more high vibe. And I wanted beaches, but I also wanted nature. And I'm like, okay, but you didn't say where you wanted to go. So we send you somewhere and now you're not satisfied. That's exactly what happens with life. If we don't know where we're going, if we don't know what we want, it's really hard to get to a point where we're actually really, really happy and satisfied. So let's think about what we want from life. So I started thinking, okay, I want to live a very adventurous life. I want to do really cool stuff, all the adventures, all the crazy shit that is out there. So I started doing that. Skydiving in New Zealand, swimming with whale sharks, riding jet skis in Miami, like all the cool stuff that you gotta do. But for some reason, I was living the perfect life on Instagram. If you looked at my pictures, or if you heard me talking about it, but it didn't light me up. It wasn't very fulfilling for some reason. And what I started noticing is that it didn't feel great. I was doing all the things, but I wasn't feeling incredible about it. So what I started doing is asking myself, how do I want to feel in life? What is the purpose here? What is it that I want out of life? How do I want to feel? And to say that, I was never really a person that felt a lot. I was never very emotional. And if I was, I always tried to hide my emotions. So I didn't feel much in general. So I thought it's a normal thing. Until I noticed it doesn't have to be. I noticed I was feeling empty. And people ask me, how do you feel? It's like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. Just feel nothing. I just am. I don't know. I feel good, I guess. I don't really feel bad. So I guess I feel good, but I'm not really sure. And what is that even? So I started tapping more into the feeling world. And the experiences I started having once I started feeling more about myself, about life, about really feeling more in the experiences, totally shifted. It was a totally different thing. And what I realized that it is a work in progress. It is not a one-time thing. It's not like, okay, let's trying to feel more here and enjoy life more. That's not how it works. But how it started happening for me is when I started being more intentional about the experiences I'm creating. When I started being more intentional about the kind of life that I want to live and how I want to tell the story. What kind of person do I want to become? Who is that person that's living their best life? And what does that even mean? So many people throw this word around, live your best life, enjoy life. What does it mean? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to me? What's the meaning of living your best life? And everyone has a different answer to that. But for me was traveling, doing adventurous stuff, and feeling great about it. So by starting to set more intentions on how to really be more intentional and really feel more in the experiences, really make them mean more to me, I started doing things differently. So I started studying tourism because I was like, okay, traveling is pretty much all I know, all I'm good at. So let me give this a try. It was time for my internship. And at that time, I was speaking Spanish. I loved South American culture, loved speaking Spanish. I had a lot of Spanish friends, speaking English quite well. Cool, where do I want to go? I want something cool. I want something fun. I want something challenging. Because I knew the more challenging something is, the more I'm going to learn. So South America was out. North America was kind of difficult with the visas and stuff. I was like, cool, where do I want to go? Let's try Africa. So I found myself a place in Tanzania. And I knew that Tanzania is going to be hard and challenging. And there's going to be days I'm going to hate myself for putting myself through this, for putting myself into that situation, and for being there for pretty much stuck for a few months. And if I'm not going to like it, I have to deal with the situation. And I went to Tanzania, and there were days where I was like, why did I do this? What's the purpose of this? Like, why? Like, this is the worst place ever. Everything is very hard, very difficult, very different from what I know and what I enjoy and what I like. So why would I put myself through this? And in hindsight, I notice it's one of the places and one of the moments, one of the few months where I learned so much and where I grew so much as a person. It was such a valuable time. But because I consciously decided to take this situation, to go through this. And now, whenever I'm thinking, okay, where do I want to go next? What do I want to do next? I'm thinking about what's the kind of life that I want to live? How can I be more intentional with it? Where am I going and what is the purpose of it? Like right now, I choose to spend winter in Canada. And if you've ever been to Canada in winter, it is pretty damn cold. And it can be quite isolated. The other day we were having minus 26 degrees. And you're just sitting there like, why did I do this to myself? It's about the experience. And now I'm not just thinking about, okay, what could be fun, but also about what's the experience I want to create. What's the story that I want to tell? Just bringing it back to really being more intentional with what we're doing and how we're living life. And if you're saying now like, cool, but I'm not living that kind of adventurous life, I'm not having all the time of my life to travel, it's also bringing it back to a daily basis. How can we live a more adventurous life on a daily basis? How can we have more fun in life? How can we make life more exciting on a daily basis? Because if you think back and think about, what did you do last, let's say March? Tell me about 5 amazing, cool things that you did last March. Is there a lot that comes up for you? Kind of have to think about it a bit, right? Maybe there's not much that comes to your mind because we're not intentionally creating memories. We're not intentionally living life. We're just going through life, going with the motion, trying to get stuff done, trying to go to the next level, trying to do the next thing. And we're like, what are we doing? What are we creating here? What's the purpose of this? So by bringing it back to being intentional and starting to create intentional memories, being very clear on the experiences we're living, on how we're living, even small things that we can do differently, just starting to wander around, just starting to be more open, be more present in the moment, and really enjoy life, really look around and change the kind of attitude that we're having towards life, change the kind of perspective that we're bringing towards life. When I started letting go of the fixed perception that I had about life and really thinking, okay, how can I see this differently? Suddenly, everything started becoming fun. Like from running out of gas in Bali, from driving without light in the night because I thought the scooter is broken, from like hiking in the dark, everything started becoming fun. Whatever kind of situation I accidentally got myself into, because when you travel a lot, when you like just normally live in life, it's not always easy and not always everything goes very, very smooth, right? We put ourselves into a situation where like, what the fuck? Like, what did I just do? Like, why is this happening? What's going on here? I'm starting to deal with it, making it fun. You know, there's not really point of being upset. It doesn't change anything if it's already happened. So how can we make this fun? How can we create something intentional, something cool, something funny, something we can tell a story about later on? Because what I learned from my granddad was the more intentional you live, the more you enjoy life, the more you experience, the more stories you can tell. And at the end, that is all that counts. The stories that we're able to tell our friends, our kids, our grandkids, the memories that we have in our heart. That's the most important in life. Because pretty much everything else can be gone in a day. Even if you have the most beautiful house, fire, storm, hurricane, gone. Your friends, the person we love, all gonna die at some day, at some point in life. But what really stays with us is the memories that we're creating, and how we're living life, how we're feeling about ourselves when we're by ourselves, how we're enjoying life, and whatever stays in our heart. That's the most important thing. What's the memories that we're creating, and how are we telling the story? I used to not really enjoy my life. Like, I was traveling and doing all the things, but for some reason, I wasn't feeling that great. I was hating everything. The people that are staying with me because I look different. At some point, the second time I went to India, I actually dyed my hair black because I thought, well, people are not going to stare at me that much when I don't have like lighter hair. Totally backfired. Didn't work out at all. I'm still very tall, much taller than Indians. My skin color still isn't the same as theirs. Still, they stare at me. So now what? Who am I going to be in this situation? Am I going to hate my whole India experience because people stare at me and people take pictures of me? No. That'd be kind of a waste of time. So who do I want to be? And the answer that came to me was like, I want to have fun. I want to enjoy this experience. So we can either try and forget about these people, just ignore them, or trying to have fun with it, trying to play with it. But what's the kind of person that we want to be? Who do we want to be? And how do we want to feel here? Do you want to let the experience be ruined by some random strangers that we don't even know taking pictures of us and like talking to us and being all like, oh, look at this foreigner, because they've never really seen a lot of white people? Does that change anything? No. Let's start being nice to them. Let's start having fun. Same in Bali. Started driving around on my scooter, and I noticed so many people with these like really like weird expressions, being angry, being stuck, being like living in paradise, but not really enjoying it there. A lot of travelers, a lot of tourists as well, they're like, it's kind of nice, but there's people asking you for money for parking everywhere. Everything's kind of dirty. There's the police trying to rip off the tourists all the time. Well, so what? You're not going to go there? Not going to enjoy your life because of that? Because of the circumstances that you can't really influence? And being around people with a negative attitude really influences us as well. And I had friends that were quite negative and always complaining about pretty much everything all the time. So I started doing it as well. And I noticed that's not really a cool life to live. It doesn't really light us up. It doesn't really make us happy. So what I started doing is just like starting to smile at people. And suddenly everyone started smiling back at me. I was like, whoa, how's that happening? These same people that I thought were super rude and super weird all the time suddenly started smiling just because I was smiling, just because I was trying to be more positive about life. And it changed the whole experience. Everything changed suddenly. And that's how we can change. By changing who we are. By changing the kind of person we're being in this world. By changing our attitude and changing our perspective. Because at the end, there's no fixed meaning. We might think that people are weird, that people are rude, that people are a certain way. Because it's true. It's the truth from our perspective. It's the truth from what we choose to see. But is it the actual truth? Probably not. If we try to change how we look at certain things, the whole thing changes. So whatever you're experiencing in life right now, however you're feeling right now in life, know that this is not the final stage. This is not how it has to be. And even once I started feeling good or better about myself and my life, it's like, is there more? How can we make this more fun? How can we take this to the next level? How can we create more experiences here? And that's when it just started snowballing and going by itself and taking off. And now everything I'm experiencing is fun, or it is a story and I'm learning something from it. Every single thing. Even the bad things, even spending 43 hours in a freaking airport trying to fly from Brazil to Canada and having the freaking guy asking me to take off the laptop case of my laptop to make some like drug test scan randomly. After being more than 30 hours, not in airports, in flights and planes, not having slept well, not having eaten enough. Like, are you serious? So now what? You want to be grumpy and yell at the person or like talk badly about the person? That person is just doing their job. It's not really their fault that you've been, flying around forever. Just deal with it. What's the positive side of it? How can we make this fun? How can we find something positive in it? And at that point, I chose to try to find something positive. And it actually took me a while. Like, I have to take off this laptop case, this like plastic thing that's really stuck. And I was like, I'm kind of scared I'm going to break it. And I don't really feel like doing that right now. So if you want to take it off, here you go. I'm not going to take it off. He's like, well, then you're not going to take it on the flight. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, are you crazy? He's like, no, these are the rules. Okay, so are we going to play with the rules? Or do we want to be upset and hate the world? Is that going to change something? No, not at all. So let's do something about it. So I tried very calmly taking my laptop case off. It took about 15 minutes, but I had time, so I didn't care. I was like, okay, now that my laptop case is off, I can actually clean my laptop, which is the positive thing. I actually found something positive. And sometimes we have to look a little bit harder to find something positive in a situation. And sometimes it's easier to find something positive. But the most important thing is really trying it, giving it a try, trying to be more positive, trying to enjoy life more. And the question is really, it's not about what we're doing. It's not about the places we go. It's not about the activities we do. But it's more about who we're being. Who are we when the tent collapses and it's freaking raining outside? This is who we are. Who we are when it's freaking 45 degrees, the humidity is very high, there's mosquitoes everywhere, and we can't sleep at night. Who are we in these situations? It's easy to be nice and positive and enjoy life when everything is good and there's blue sky and sun and we're by the beach or in the mountains doing something we really enjoy. But who are we when things get hard? How are we going to remember life in these difficult situations? Are we going to be like, oh yeah, don't remind me of that situation. I was not being my best version self back then. Is that who we want to be? Is that the kind of life that we want to live? Or do we want to be a person who's like, oh yeah, you remember when it was freaking raining outside and then the tent collapsed? And we were just putting on some music and just having fun and just like putting the tent back up and then like being very happy that we actually had a tent to sleep in and didn't have to sleep under the rain. What's the kind of story that you want to tell? What's the kind of person that we want to be? It's a good question, right? And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you're like, yeah, but it was very bad weather. I was feeling very bad. And I think I had all the right of being angry in that moment because things didn't work out and the technology wasn't really working and I had all these difficulties and all these troubles and life was just hard. I'm like, yeah, life isn't always fair. Life isn't always simple. Life isn't always easy. So what? You're going to complain about it? Is that going to change a thing? Is that going to make life easier or better? Probably not. So what are we going to do? Who are you going to be? What do you want to do about it? Bring it back to joy. Start feeling exciting about life, about the experiences. Find something positive. Find something to really enjoy life on an everyday basis. There's no reason to be upset or angry all the time. frustrated. I used to feel very frustrated a lot. What's the point? Is it going to get us anywhere? When things do not work out the same way that we expect them to work out, it's not going to change anything. So how can we change our attitude? How can we change the person we're being, in like responding to certain situation, responding in a more positive way, creating a more positive experience? That is all what it comes back to. And really, it's not about what we do, about who we are in these moments, how we feel about ourselves, how we want to treat others in these moments, and how do we want to remember that situation in hindsight in the future when we tell the story to our friends or our kids or whoever. That is really how we start creating a more intentional life. That is how it all comes back to. And there's a lot of strategies on how to actually create more intentional memories, which I'm also like teaching you in my course Adventurously Alive. If you're interested in that, just let me know. It's an incredible course, my favorite one, if you want to feel more alive in life. If you really want to experience life on a deeper level, start feeling more. Start creating more intentional experiences and really start loving life. Smiling for life and not just for the picture. That's all what it is about. If you're interested in that, let me know. I'm happy to sign you up. Or if you have any questions about it, just let me know. I want to talk you through it. And we'll see if it's the right fit for you. And one thing I hear a lot as well is people waiting for the right opportunity, people waiting for the right time, people waiting for the right partner, people waiting for the money, people waiting for whatever. But the thing is, nobody's going to knock on your door and hand you over your perfect life that you've always been dreaming of. It's just not going to happen. I don't think I've actually even ever seen this in a movie. It's not going to happen. Nobody's going to come save you. Nobody's going to come fix your life if you do not go out there and do it yourself. If you do not go out there and give it your best and give it a try and really be like, hey, I'm here. Let's do this. Let's give this a try. I want to enjoy life more. I want to live life on a deeper level. I really want to be present. I want to have more experiences and more memories to tell. I really want to enjoy my life. And the fact is that most people are not. And that's one of the worst and saddest things with so many people in the world that we're living in, with endless opportunities, with limitless things to do and experience, so many opportunities that we're still like, yeah, but this is the kind of life that I should live, or that people want me to live, so that's what I'm going to do. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? Don't really get it. I used to be like that, but now I don't get it anymore. I'm like, why do we do that? Why are we so, I don't want to say stupid, but in a way, we're living life like we're living forever. And that's cool at some point, that we just, Netflix and chill and do the things over and over and over again. 100 times, 1,000 times. That's what I call insanity. Especially when we don't enjoy doing the things that we're doing. What's the point? Why are we doing them? And why we do stuff? That became one of my favorite questions. I started noticing that we do stuff because we conditioned to do them, because we see other people doing them. But when we ask ourselves, why am I doing this? Why am I going this place? Why am I responding in this way? Why am I feeling this certain way? Everything started shifting. Everything started becoming different. Like, why are we doing things? That's when you start getting answers. And just keep asking yourself, why are we doing this? Why am I being like this right now? Do I have to be like this? Do I want to be remembered like this? Is that really what I want with my life? It's really not about the things we do, but who we are. And that's pretty much what I want to leave you with. It's all about who we are, how we feel about ourselves, and how we react in certain situations. How we react when someone's trying to skim us off. How we react when we're freaking tired after an endless flight and a taxi guy doesn't come. Or we're not getting picked up from the person who told us from the person who told us she or he or whatever is gonna pick us up. When the hotel isn't as we expected it to be. When we're tired of the food, when we're tired of the people, when we're not enjoying our experience, when everything feels like it's collapsing or just going the wrong way. When we feel like we're having a hard life or a hard year or a hard month. When we feel like things are not going as they should go. And we feel like, why is it happening to me? What's going on here? Why is life so hard? Why is life so difficult? I don't want this, but I also not really happy about doing something else. And who do we want to be? We always have the choice to change, but we have to bring it back to the awareness. And for me, the most important thing has always been start creating intentional memories. Start living a more adventurous life and start feeling more about it. Start creating a life that we're truly in love with. And that's an ongoing process. It's not just we're going to do the work one day and then it's done. It's a constant evolution of up-leveling, of changing the way we think, of changing the way we feel, of changing our mindset, of changing our perspective, of changing our behaviors, of changing who we are. And if this is kind of work that you want to do, I'm happy to guide you on that. I'm having one-on-one spots open and available right now for coaching to guide you through this, to do this with you. And if you're really committed on changing your life, really starting to live a life that you're truly in love with, really feeling more alive, living the life of your dreams and creating more experiences that you're going to remember. Starting to react differently to life, being more emotional intelligent, being smarter about how we react, how we respond to people, and who we are in certain situations, then I'm very, very happy to guide you through this, to lead you through this, to go this path with you, and to coach you through this. I'm taking on one-on-one clients only with application only. So if you're interested in doing that, make sure you fill out the application form. I'm going to link it in the comment below, or just shoot me a message on whatever, Facebook or here on YouTube. And I'm going to make sure you get the link. We set up a call, have an introduction call, see if we're a good fit. And then we're going to start taking it from there. Because my biggest mission, what's really, really important for me, is that we're creating lives that we love living. That we stop doing the bullshit that we think we have to do and really start living a life that we're excited, where we feel alive, where we wake up in the morning, we're like, oh my God, this life. We go outside and just stare like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. This life, seriously, I would have never ever expected to feel this way. And I didn't even believe it was possible for me a few years back. I didn't feel possible for me to enjoy life on the next level, on a deeper level, really experience life, really feel more. And in the end, it's all about the feelings and the memories. And the more we feel, the more memories we create. So if this is the kind of work that you would love doing, please feel free to reach out, fill out the application form. We set up an introductory call, and we take it from there and really start creating your best life. And if you feel maybe that's kind of too much, or you just want to like tip your toes in and see where this could lead you, I'm also having 2 courses, Adventurously Alive and Adventure Awaits. Adventurously Alive is more about the feeling part, who we're being, how we're responding when we're traveling, when we're living life, when we get into complicated situations. And Adventure Awaits is more about the doing part. So how to set yourself up to live a more adventurous life, how to do more adventurous stuff, how to be more in the situations, how to create more intentional memories. So if you want more information about any of these courses, just let me know, and I'm very, very happy to let you in, give you more information, and start changing and impacting your life. Because at the end, it's all about the memories. So I hope you have a beautiful day. I love you, and I'm going to see you very soon. Thank you so much for watching.